I cannot fathom why some animal would do that to a child.
Because I love that little girl, okay? I'll never be the same again.
Help us, Father. We need you, Jesus.
Anger growing over the senseless shooting of a 9-year-old girl. And tonight, court records show prosecutors tried to keep the accused killer locked up, but a judge...
She was just 9 years old, making TikTok videos and playing basketball with friends. A normal kid with normal dreams. But Khylie Sorrells didn't know that her mom's ex-boyfriend had already decided to end her life. Not because he had anything against her. No. He shot her in the head for one reason: to make her mother suffer forever. Let that sink in. A man walked into a Houston home, ripped a TV off the wall, then walked into a bedroom and put 2 bullets in a child's head. And you know what? The system could have stopped him. Should have stopped him. See, Jeremiah Jones wasn't some unknown threat. He was out on 5 different bonds. Yeah, 5, when he executed Khylie. 12 days before the murder, a judge caught him with a gun he wasn't legally allowed to have. And what happened? She just raised his bail instead of locking him up. So now a little girl is gone. Forever. In this video, we're going to walk through exactly how this happened. You'll see the warning signs everyone missed, the explicit threats Jones made, the critical 12-day window where everything could have changed. What happened to Khylie reveals dangerous gaps in our justice system that put all of us at risk. By understanding this case, you'll recognize warning signs most people miss and see how domestic violence escalates to its deadliest point. This isn't just another sad story. It's a wake-up call that might save someone you care about. Welcome to Hidden Crime Network. Today's case will shake you to your core. We cover these stories because victims deserve to be remembered, because there are lessons in these tragedies that might keep someone else safe, and because the system that fails one child can fail us all. If you find value in what we're about to share, please support our mission by hitting that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a case that could save a life, maybe even yours or someone you love. Drop a comment telling us if you've heard about Khylie's story or similar situations in your area. Are you from Houston? Have you witnessed the bail system fail in your community? Let us know where you're watching from. Stay with us as we uncover the full story of a little girl taken too soon, a mother who survived, and a justice system that looked away when it mattered most.
It's of great community concern anytime one of our children is victimized. It's something that sort of strikes at all of our hearts in the criminal justice community. My thoughts are absolutely with the family this morning.
And at the time of the shooting, Jones was out on bond for evading arrest. He had also violated a protective order a different woman had filed against him. He also has a very extensive criminal history.
June 13th, 2022. A night that started like any other for 9-year-old Khylie Sorrells. According to her friends, she loved playing basketball and making TikTok videos just like millions of other kids her age. Her home on Oxford Street in Houston, Texas was her safe space, until it wasn't. 2 months before that night, Khylie's mom, Brittany Sorrells, had made a decision that would set off a deadly chain of events. She ended her relationship with 22-year-old Jeremiah Jones. Now, any relationship ending is hard. That's normal. But what's not normal is what police reports show happened next. Jones couldn't accept it was over. See, domestic violence experts point to this exact moment when someone leaves a relationship as the most dangerous time. And man, did this case prove that right. According to court records, Jones wasn't just upset, he was obsessed. He started making threats. Not vague, I'm angry kind of threats. No. Police documents show he specifically told Brittany he was going to kill her. Think about that. A direct death threat, just days before June 13th. Most people hear that and think, well, he was probably just talking. People say stuff when they're mad. But here's the thing. By this point, Jones had already shown who he was. Court records indicate he started his criminal career at age 12. Yeah, 12 years old. By the time he was 22, he had what one detective called a page worth of criminal offenses in Harris County alone. So when Jones threatened to kill Brittany, it wasn't some empty words from a heartbroken ex. It was a warning sign from someone with a documented history of breaking the law. And you know what makes this even worse? According to prosecutors, Jones wasn't randomly dangerous. He was calculated. He knew exactly what would hurt Brittany the most. It wasn't taking her life. It was taking something she could never replace. But how did a man with so many red flags manage to walk free? Why wasn't anyone connecting these dots? And what happened when he showed up at their door that night? Those questions have answers that might make your blood boil. But we need to face them head on.
Go, guys. That's our number 6. How'd y'all do, Khylie? Huh? She's tired. I'm tired too. Look.
So what happens when a man like Jeremiah Jones shows up at his ex's door? According to police records, it was around 10 p.m. when Jones arrived at the Oxford Street home unannounced. Brittany was there, Khylie was there, and Jones, well, he brought his anger, and he brought a gun. Court documents show the confrontation started right away. No hello, no calm conversation, just immediate rage. You know how some arguments start small and build up? This wasn't that. According to witnesses, one of the first things Jones did was rip a television clean off the wall, just tore it down. Think about the strength that takes, the fury. But that was just the beginning. What Jones did next is something that HPD Detective Sergeant Michael Cass would later describe using one very specific word: execution. After destroying the TV, Jones walked into a bedroom where 9-year-old Khylie was, and he fired. Twice. Direct shots to her head. I need you to understand what happened here. This wasn't crossfire. This wasn't an accident. According to all evidence presented in court, Jones deliberately targeted this child first. Only after shooting Khylie did he turn the gun on Brittany. She was hit but survived her injuries. Paramedics rushed both victims to the hospital, but for little Khylie, it was too late. She was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Jones fled the scene immediately. He left behind a mother with a gunshot wound and her dead daughter. Let that sit with you for a moment. You know, as I research these cases, I keep seeing the same patterns. Women and children left vulnerable because they don't recognize the warning signs of escalating violence. That's why I wrote Echoes of Caution: True Crime Lessons for Everyday Safety. This guide helps women identify dangerous relationship patterns before they turn deadly. If you're concerned about yourself or someone you care about, scan the QR code or check the link in the description. It might save a life. Now, if you've stayed with me this far, you clearly care about justice. You understand that knowing these stories matters. Hit that like button right now if you believe we need to expose these system failures. Comment "Justice for Khylie" to show support and condolence to her family. So what happened after the shooting? Well, stick around. Let's find out.
Before Jones was captured by HPD SWAT officers Tuesday evening, he told me he didn't do it.
Because I was at a gas station on camera minutes before they say, within probably like 15 to 20 minutes before they even said that this happened.
Brittany's mom says her daughter is 100% sure it was him.
She was looking at him, they were talking and he got upset and, couldn't take no for an answer.
When the call came in, Houston PD didn't waste time. They knew exactly what they were dealing with: a child killer on the run with nothing to lose. Within hours, they had a name, they had a face, and they had a mission: find Jeremiah Jones before he disappeared or hurt anyone else. HPD SWAT and tactical teams hit the streets immediately. They weren't looking for any suspect. They were hunting a man who, according to court documents, had just walked into a bedroom and put 2 bullets in a 9-year-old's head. For nearly 20 hours, Jones was in the wind. But on June 14th, just one day after the murder, officers found him. According to police reports, SWAT cornered Jones in a parking lot on Imperial Valley Drive. No dramatic standoff, no high-speed chase. Just a cold, calculated killer caught within 24 hours of taking a child's life. But the real breakthrough came when investigators pulled the GPS data from the car Jones had used that night. See, Jones had been busy creating alibis, first claiming he was at a gas station, then saying he was on a date with another woman, anything to distance himself from Oxford Street. The GPS told a different story. It showed his exact route to Brittany's home. It showed him arriving just before 10 p.m. It showed him leaving shortly after shots were fired. Technology doesn't lie. People do. And those alibis? They fell apart under the weight of hard evidence. This wasn't some crime of passion or a split-second decision. The GPS data helped prosecutors prove Jones deliberately drove to that house with a plan. But here's where the story takes a turn that will make your stomach drop. When investigators dug into Jones's background, what they found wasn't just disturbing, it was a complete indictment of our criminal justice system. Remember how I mentioned Jones had started his criminal career at age 12? That was just the beginning. What investigators uncovered was a man who had literally never stopped breaking the law. By June 2022, court records show Jones wasn't just out on bond. He was out on 5 separate bonds, all at once. We're talking serious charges: burglary, evading arrest, and this one's important, being a felon in possession of a weapon. That last charge is the one that should have saved Khylie's life. On June 1, 2022, just 12 days before the murder, Jones stood before Judge Ramona Franklin in the 338th Criminal District Court. He was a convicted felon caught with a gun. The law is clear-cut on this. Felons can't have firearms, period. For a guy who was already out on 4 other bonds, this should have been game over. The standard procedure would have been to revoke his existing bonds and keep him locked up. But that's not what happened. Instead, Judge Franklin made a decision that we now know cost a child her life. She simply raised his bond amount. Jones paid it and walked out, free to get in a car 12 days later and drive to Oxford Street, free to walk into that bedroom, free to pull that trigger. This isn't just a failure. It's a complete breakdown of a system designed to protect us. If you're feeling outraged right now, you should be. If your blood is boiling, it should be. This didn't have to happen. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't and join our community of people who refuse to let these failures go unnoticed, because awareness is the first step towards change. And I have to ask, do you know who's out on multiple bonds in your city? Do you know which judges are making these kinds of decisions? You should. We all should. But the story doesn't end with Jones's arrest. For Khylie Sorrells, for Khylie's grandmother, for an entire community, justice still needed to be served.
While everyone is entitled to a bond, if you are on bond for a felony offense and you pick up a new felony offense, you are no longer entitled to a bond. And at that time, the judge can revoke your bond and zero or no bond you so that you cannot be released from custody.
Something that didn't appear to happen in Jones' case.
In this particular case, it appears that he had several opportunities where the state could have filed to no bond him and the judge could have held him in custody without a bond. And that didn't happen in this case.
After Jones's arrest, prosecutors didn't hesitate. They hit him with the most serious charges possible: capital murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The trial moved through the 184th and 338th State District Courts of Harris County. Prosecutors laid out their case methodically. They presented the GPS data proving Jones drove to the home that night. They showed how he had threatened Brittany's life in the days before the shooting. They detailed his history of violence. The defense tried to create doubt. They pushed those false alibis, the gas station, the date with another woman. But the evidence was too strong, the GPS data too precise. On Friday, July 18, 2025, the jury reached their verdict: guilty. Jones received life in prison, the maximum non-death penalty for his crimes. He will never walk free again. But you know what? A guilty verdict doesn't bring Khylie back. It doesn't heal Brittany's wounds. It doesn't fix the system that let this happen. After Khylie's death, her grandmother stepped forward with a mission. According to local reports, she demanded tougher laws for repeat offenders, not just talk, action. She wasn't alone. The Houston community rallied around a simple question. How could a man with Jones's record be free to walk the streets? For Khylie Sorrells, justice brought no peace. Court documents show she survived her gunshot wound physically. But how you recover from watching your child executed because you ended a relationship, that's a wound that never heals. This case exposed what experts call the money bond trap, a system where dangerous people go free simply because they can afford bail. Jones posted bond 5 separate times. Each time he bought his freedom, and Khylie paid the ultimate price. Community advocates pointed to a troubling reality. While Harris County had focused on misdemeanor bail reform to help low-risk poor defendants, they'd missed the bigger threat: violent offenders with money. Local news covered vigils, politicians made promises, community members demanded change. But the hard truth remained. The system had all the information it needed to keep Jones locked up. It just failed to use it. And that's the part we can't look away from. This wasn't a case where no one saw the danger coming. Every sign was there. Every red flag was waving. The system just chose to ignore them all. For the families living in Oxford Street, for the mothers across Houston, for anyone who's ever feared an ex-partner, this case became a stark warning. The system designed to protect us sometimes doesn't. If you don't know what to do, this book can help, or check the description.
This case teaches us 3 hard truths. First, the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship is when someone tries to leave. Second, our bail system often values money over safety. And third, when these systems fail, innocent people die. Khylie should be making TikTok videos today. She should be playing basketball. She should be alive. Her story matters because it could save others. If you recognize these patterns in your own life or someone else's, act. Don't wait for the system to protect you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because the next time we might prevent a tragedy instead of just explaining one. Until next time, remember that the most powerful warning signs are often right in front of us. We just need the courage to acknowledge them on time. This book can help. Don't forget to grab a copy. Stay safe, stay aware, and thank you for joining us today. See you on another story from the Hidden Crime Network. Bye for now.